My husband emptied our joint account by text message. The text came through while I was buying groceries. Took what I needed from the account. Don't bother calling. I stared at my phone, reading it 3 times before the words made sense. My cart was half full of food for the week. Our 2 kids were at school. I'd just grabbed milk and bread like any normal Tuesday morning. My hands started shaking as I opened my banking app. Our joint account showed $43.16. Yesterday, it had $28,000. 12 years of marriage. 12 years of saving together, building together, planning together. Gone in one text message. I abandoned my cart in the middle of the cereal aisle and ran to my car. My phone rang. The mortgage company. I let it go to voicemail. Then the electric company called. Then the kids' school about lunch account balance. Everything was linked to that account. Everything. I tried calling Vincent. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. He'd blocked me. I drove home in a daze, running a red light without even noticing until someone honked. Our house looked normal from the outside. The garden I'd planted last spring. The basketball hoop Vincent had installed for our son Danny. Everything exactly as I'd left it an hour ago. But nothing was normal anymore. Inside, I went straight to our bedroom. His closet was half empty. Not completely cleared out, just enough to show he'd planned this. His favorite jacket gone. His good shoes missing. The watch I'd bought him for our 10th anniversary no longer on his dresser. I checked our bedroom safe. Empty. The emergency cash we'd kept there, about $3,000, was gone too. I sat on our bed, the one we'd picked out together 5 years ago, and tried to think. My phone kept ringing. Bill collectors, automated reminders, banks. I ignored them all. I needed to understand what was happening. Why would Vincent do this? We'd had problems lately, sure. What marriage didn't after 12 years? I called my sister Diana. She answered on the second ring. Hey, what's up? I couldn't speak at first. The words stuck in my throat. Diana, Vincent emptied our bank account. Silence. Then, what do you mean emptied? I explained everything. The text, the money gone, his stuff missing, the blocked number. Diana started cursing, which she only did when truly angry. That piece of garbage. I never trusted him. Come to my house right now. But I couldn't leave. The kids would be home from school in 4 hours. Danny was 8 and Maya was 6. They'd want snacks and help with homework and stories about their day. How was I supposed to tell them their father had abandoned us? I can't, I said. The kids. Diana understood immediately. Okay, I'm coming to you. Don't do anything until I get there. Don't call him, don't call the bank, just wait for me. She lived 40 minutes away. I agreed and hung up. Then I immediately broke my promise and called the bank. The bank representative was polite, but unhelpful. Both account holders have equal access to joint accounts. Your husband had every legal right to withdraw those funds. I wanted to scream. But he took everything. Our mortgage payment is due Friday. Our kids need to eat. She sounded genuinely sympathetic, but her hands were tied. You can file a police report for abandonment, or speak to a lawyer about divorce proceedings, but the bank cannot reverse legitimate withdrawals. I hung up and called Vincent's work. His assistant Bonnie answered. Hi Patricia, what can I do for you? I tried to sound normal. Is Vincent available? A pause. Patricia, Vincent resigned yesterday. He didn't tell you. My stomach dropped further. Resigned? Bonnie lowered her voice. He gave 2 weeks' notice last month, but they let him leave early. He cleaned out his office yesterday afternoon. I assumed you knew. So he'd been planning this for weeks. Maybe longer. Everything suddenly made sense. The late nights he'd claimed were work projects. The phone calls he took in another room. Diana arrived with 2 bags of groceries and a determined expression. She found me sitting at the kitchen table, staring at nothing. Okay, first things first. We're going to figure this out. She started unpacking food. Bread, peanut butter, pasta, things that would last. Diana, I can't pay you back right now. She waved her hand dismissively. Shut up about paying me back. You're my sister. Now, have you called a lawyer? I hadn't thought that far ahead yet. Everything felt surreal, like this was happening to someone else. I don't even know where to start. Diana pulled out her phone. My friend Rachel is a divorce attorney. She's tough. Let me text her. While Diana texted, I checked my email. Nothing from Vincent. I checked social media. His accounts were all deactivated. He'd erased himself completely. How long had he been planning this? The mortgage payment was $2,100, due in 3 days. The electric bill was $180. Car payment $350. I had $43.16 and 2 kids who'd need dinner tonight. Danny and Maya came home at 3:30, their usual chaotic entrance. Backpacks thrown on the floor, talking over each other about their day. Mom, can I have a snack? Danny asked, already heading for the pantry. Maya tugged my shirt. We're doing a family tree project. I need pictures of Dad. I felt Diana tense beside me. Hey kids, she said brightly. Who wants to help Aunt Diana make cookies? They cheered and forgot about everything else. Children were resilient that way. While Diana kept them occupied, I went to our home office and started looking through files. Tax returns, bank statements, credit card bills. Looking for clues I'd missed. Had there been signs? Extra spending? Strange charges? I found a credit card statement from 2 months ago. A jewelry purchase for $3,400. I'd never received any jewelry. My hands trembled as I kept searching. A hotel charge in the next city over. Restaurants I'd never been to. How had I not noticed? Because I'd trusted him completely. That's how. Rachel the attorney called that evening after the kids were in bed. Diana told me what happened. First, I'm sorry. Second, we need to move fast. Her voice was professional but kind. She asked questions. How long married? Any prenup? Joint assets? Kids? I answered everything mechanically. Okay, Patricia, here's what we do. Tomorrow morning, first thing, you file for emergency temporary support. With 2 minor children and him abandoning the family, a judge will likely grant it quickly. She paused. But I have to be honest. Getting the money back that he already took will be harder. Joint account means joint access. I felt hope dying. So he just gets away with it. Rachel sighed. Not entirely. In the divorce settlement, the judge will consider that he took marital assets. But that's months away. Right now we focus on survival. Food, shelter, utilities. We talked for an hour. She agreed to take my case and defer payment until the settlement. Diana had apparently already offered to cover the retainer. That night I lay in bed alone, staring at the ceiling. The house was too quiet. Normally Vincent snored softly beside me. I'd complained about it for years. Now the silence was deafening. My phone sat on the nightstand. Part of me kept hoping he'd call, explain this was a misunderstanding, that the money was safe. But morning came and there was nothing. I got up, made breakfast for the kids, packed their lunches. Maya asked where Daddy was. Business trip, I lied. The lie came easily, surprisingly. Danny looked suspicious. At 8, he was old enough to sense something was wrong. When's he coming back? I buttered toast and avoided eye contact. I'm not sure, honey. After they left for school, I drove to the courthouse. Rachel met me there with paperwork already prepared. Emergency motion for temporary support and custody. We filed everything and got a hearing date for Friday. 2 days away. What do I do until then? I asked Rachel. She squeezed my shoulder. You survive. I called my boss Greg from the courthouse parking lot. I worked part-time as a bookkeeper for a small accounting firm. Greg, I need to ask about getting more hours. He was understanding when I explained my situation vaguely. Husband left, finances tight, need extra work. Greg didn't pry. Patricia, you're good at what you do. I can move you to full-time starting Monday. Will that help? It would help, but not enough. Full-time meant $42,000 a year. Before, with Vincent's income, we'd made over $100,000. Our lifestyle was built for that. The mortgage alone was $2,100 monthly. I did quick math in my head. Full-time salary would be about $3,500 monthly after taxes. Mortgage, utilities, car payment, insurance, groceries, kids' activities. The numbers didn't work. I'd need to make changes. Big changes. Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate it. After hanging up, I sat in my car and made a list. What could be cut? Cable television, gone. Streaming services, gone. Danny's travel baseball team, might have to quit. Maya's dance classes, same. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered cautiously. Hello. A man's voice, professional and cold. This is Michael from Premier Collections, calling about your Visa card ending in 4782. Your payment of $340 is now 15 days overdue. I didn't even know we were behind on credit cards. I'll get it sorted out. He launched into a script about payment arrangements. I hung up. Another call came immediately. Different collection agency, same message. Then another. Vincent must have stopped paying bills weeks ago, letting everything fall behind while he prepared his escape. I drove to the bank and asked to speak with a manager. The woman who met with me was about my age, wearing a kind expression. Mrs. Patterson, I pulled your account history. I'm so sorry this happened. She showed me the withdrawals. Vincent had taken $20,000 in a single transfer to an account I'd never seen before. Then smaller withdrawals over the past week, draining everything. Can you tell me about this other account? The bank manager checked her computer. That account was opened 3 months ago, sole ownership under your husband's name. We can't give you access or information about it. 3 months. He'd been planning this for at least 3 months. While I'd been planning Maya's birthday party and helping Danny with science fair projects, Vincent had been plotting our destruction. Is there anything you can do? I asked desperately. She looked genuinely sorry. I can waive overdraft fees if any checks bounce. And I can help you open a new account in just your name. It wasn't much, but it was something. She helped me open an individual account and transfer the remaining $43.16. My advice, she said quietly, document everything. Every withdrawal, every date, every amount. It will help your attorney. I thanked her and left. My phone rang again. The mortgage company. I answered this time. Mrs. Patterson, your payment is now 3 days past due. I explained my situation. The representative was unmoved. We need payment within 10 days, or we begin foreclosure proceedings. Diana came over that night with more groceries and a check. It's $3,000. Take it. I stared at the check, pride warring with desperation. Diana, that's too much. She pushed it into my hands. Patricia, you're my baby sister. You took care of me when Mom died. You helped me through my divorce. Let me help you now. I started crying, really crying, for the first time since the text message. Diana held me while I sobbed. All the fear and anger and confusion poured out. How could he do this? I kept asking. How could he just leave us? Diana didn't have answers. Nobody did. After I calmed down, we made a plan. Her check would cover the mortgage this month. My new full-time salary would cover basics. But I'd need to sell things. The furniture we didn't need. Vincent's tools in the garage. Anything valuable. What about his car? Diana asked. Vincent had left his older car, and presumably taken his newer one. It's in both our names, I realized. I could sell it. Friday came and I stood before Judge Martinez in family court. Rachel presented our case efficiently. Husband abandoned family, emptied accounts, resigned from job, disappeared. 2 minor children, ages 6 and 8. Wife left with no resources. Vincent's attorney appeared by phone, which enraged me. Vincent couldn't even show up in person. His attorney argued that this was a misunderstanding, that Vincent had every right to his portion of marital assets. Judge Martinez looked unimpressed. Counselor, your client took $28,000 from a joint account, quit his job, and disappeared. That's not taking his portion. That's abandonment. She ruled quickly. Temporary custody to me, obviously. Vincent ordered to pay $2,500 monthly child support, retroactive to the date he left. Temporary spousal support of $1,500 monthly. Orders for him to maintain health insurance for the kids. Good luck enforcing any of this, Vincent's attorney said before disconnecting. The judge's eyes flashed. I'll hold him in contempt if necessary. This court protects children. Outside the courtroom, Rachel was pleased. That went well. Now we just need to find him to serve him. Finding Vincent proved difficult. His phone stayed disconnected. His email bounced back. His parents, who lived 3 states away, claimed they hadn't heard from him. I didn't believe them. His mother had never liked me. Maybe he needed space, she'd said coldly when I called. Marriage is hard. Like that excused stealing from his own children. I hired a process server who specialized in difficult cases. Cost $400 I didn't have, but Rachel said it was necessary. Meanwhile, I started selling things. Vincent's tools went on Marketplace. His expensive golf clubs. The riding lawnmower we'd bought last year. People came to the house, bargaining and examining items. It felt degrading, but I smiled and negotiated. Made $2,800 in 1 week. Every dollar mattered. Danny asked why we were selling Daddy's things. Daddy doesn't need them anymore, I said carefully. When's he coming home? Maya asked for the 100th time. I knelt down to her level. I don't know, sweetie. But we're going to be okay. I promise. I hoped that wasn't a lie. 2 weeks after Vincent left, I found the real reason. Diana had been doing detective work, checking social media accounts of Vincent's friends and co-workers. She called me, her voice tight with anger. Patricia, you need to see this. She sent me a screenshot. Vincent's co-worker Amber had posted photos from a beach in Mexico. Vincent was in 3 of them, his arm around her waist. The posts were dated from yesterday. That's where our money went, Diana said. He's on vacation with his girlfriend, while you're selling his golf clubs to feed his kids. I stared at the photos. Amber was younger, maybe 28. Pretty. Smiling. Wearing a bikini that probably cost more than my weekly grocery budget. They looked happy. That somehow made it worse. I'd suspected infidelity, but seeing proof was different. Seeing him smile while his children asked where he was, while I fought to keep our house, while bill collectors called constantly. Rachel was thrilled when I forwarded the photos. This is perfect. Proves he has resources. Makes him look terrible to the judge. The process server finally found Vincent 3 weeks after he'd left. He was back from Mexico, apparently, staying at an apartment across town. The address was in a nice complex with a pool and gym. Our mortgage was late again, and he was living at a resort-style apartment. The court date for the full hearing was set for 6 weeks out. Meanwhile, I was barely surviving. Greg had moved me to full-time as promised. The kids adjusted to me working more hours. Diana helped with childcare. Vincent's mother called once, asking to see the kids. You kept them from their father, she accused. I almost laughed. I kept them from him. He left. He emptied our account. He's in Mexico with his girlfriend while Danny needs new shoes because his feet grew. She hung up on me. Fine. I didn't need her judgment. What I needed was the child support Vincent was court-ordered to pay. It had been 4 weeks. Not a single dollar had arrived. Rachel filed a contempt motion. He's playing games, she said. Hoping you'll give up. I didn't give up, but I did have to make hard choices. Danny's travel baseball had to end. He cried when I told him. But Mom, I'm starting pitcher. My heart broke. I know, baby, I'm so sorry. We just can't afford it right now. He was young enough to blame me instead of Vincent. That hurt worse than anything. Maya's dance classes ended too. She handled it better, maybe because she was younger. Can I dance at home? She asked. Of course, I said, grateful for her resilience. I called the mortgage company and begged for forbearance. They granted 3 months of reduced payments while I got back on my feet. It was enough to breathe slightly easier. The car Vincent left behind sold for $8,000. Not what it was worth, but I needed cash fast. Each day was a calculation. Could we afford fruit this week? New socks for Maya could wait until next month. Danny wanted a book fair book. I said no, hating myself. The library has books, I offered weakly. Vincent finally responded to the court papers through his attorney. He was claiming that he'd taken only his fair share of marital assets. That I was being unreasonable. That he wanted shared custody of the kids. Rachel laughed when she read his filing. Shared custody. He hasn't called them once in 6 weeks. She was right. Not a single phone call. No text messages. No gifts. Nothing. He'd completely abandoned Danny and Maya. Now that the court was demanding money, suddenly he wanted to be Dad of the Year. He's trying to reduce child support, Rachel explained. If he gets 50-50 custody, his payment obligation drops significantly. Over my dead body. The man who'd stolen our security and left his children wondering why Daddy didn't love them anymore wasn't getting shared custody. We prepared for the hearing. Rachel subpoenaed bank records, credit card statements, phone records. Building a timeline of Vincent's planning and deception. The evidence was damning. He'd opened new credit cards I didn't know about. Bought expensive gifts. Paid for hotels and trips. All while telling me we needed to budget carefully. The night before the hearing, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed reviewing everything in my mind. Rachel said we had a strong case. The photos from Mexico, the abandoned kids, the stolen money, the planning. But I was still scared. What if the judge believed Vincent's lies? What if I lost? At 2 a.m, Maya climbed into bed with me. Mommy, I had a bad dream. I held her close, breathing in her shampoo scent. You're safe, baby. I've got you. She fell back asleep quickly. I watched her peaceful face and felt determination replace fear. I would fight for my children. Whatever it took. Morning came and Diana arrived early to watch the kids. Go get him, she said fiercely. At the courthouse, I saw Vincent for the first time in 7 weeks. He'd lost weight. Looked tan from Mexico. Wore a nice suit. He wouldn't meet my eyes. Good. I didn't want to see his face. Judge Martinez called our case. Rachel presented first, methodically laying out the evidence. Vincent's attorney tried to interrupt, but the judge silenced him. The hearing lasted 3 hours. Vincent took the stand and lied smoothly. Claimed he'd felt threatened in our marriage. That I controlled all the money, which was laughable. That he'd taken only what he felt was his. Rachel cross-examined him brilliantly. Mr. Patterson, if you felt threatened, why did you go to Mexico with Ms. Amber Rodriguez immediately after leaving? He stumbled. That was just a coincidence. Rachel smiled. A coincidence? You resigned from your job, emptied your account, blocked your wife's number, and coincidentally ended up on a beach vacation the next day. She pulled out bank records. These show you purchased plane tickets 3 weeks before you left. Some coincidence. Vincent's attorney objected repeatedly, but the damage was done. Rachel showed the photos of him in Mexico, while his kids ate peanut butter sandwiches. Showed the bank transfers he'd made to his private account over months. Showed credit card bills for jewelry and hotels. The judge's expression grew colder with each piece of evidence. When it was my turn to testify, I told the truth. My children ask about their father every day, I said, my voice steady despite my nerves. They don't understand why he left. My son quit baseball because I can't afford it. My daughter dances in our living room because lessons cost too much now. I looked directly at Vincent. He texted me that he took what he needed. What he needed was apparently a vacation, while his kids wondered if they'd lose their home. Vincent's attorney tried to paint me as bitter and vindictive. Mrs. Patterson, isn't it true you've refused to let my client see his children? I stared at him. Your client knows where we live. He has my sister's number since he blocked mine. He hasn't tried once to contact Danny or Maya. The attorney switched tactics. Isn't it true you're selling his possessions out of spite? Rachel objected. Your Honor, Mrs. Patterson has been selling items to feed her children, because your client hasn't paid a cent of court-ordered support. Judge Martinez had heard enough. I'm ready to rule. The courtroom went silent. My heart pounded so hard I thought everyone could hear it. Judge Martinez looked at Vincent with clear disgust. Mr. Patterson, I've been a family court judge for 18 years. I've seen a lot of terrible behavior. This ranks among the worst. Vincent shifted uncomfortably. You systematically planned to abandon your family. You opened secret accounts, redirected money, purchased trips and gifts for your girlfriend, all while your wife believed you were a committed partner. She consulted her notes. You resigned from your job, emptied joint accounts, and disappeared. You've made no effort to contact your minor children in 7 weeks. This is not the behavior of a good father. She announced her ruling. Full custody to me. Supervised visitation only for Vincent until he completed parenting classes and counseling. Child support set at $3,200 monthly. Spousal support of $2,000 monthly for 5 years. And the big one, Vincent had to pay back $20,000 of the money he'd taken, in $1,000 monthly installments. You will also pay Mrs. Patterson's attorney fees, the judge added. Vincent's face went red. His attorney started to object, but Judge Martinez cut him off. Your client can appeal if he wishes. Court dismissed. Outside the courtroom, I nearly collapsed with relief. Rachel hugged me. That was a complete victory. Everything we asked for and more. Vincent stormed past us without a word. His attorney followed, already on his phone. He'll appeal, Rachel warned. They always do. But judges don't like overturning these rulings. I didn't care about appeals. For the first time in 7 weeks, I could breathe. The child support and spousal support would cover our bills. The house was safe. The kids were protected. I called Diana from the car. We won. Everything. She screamed so loud, I had to hold the phone away from my ear. That night, I told Danny and Maya that Daddy wouldn't be living with us anymore. Danny cried. Maya asked if it was her fault. No, baby, I said firmly. This is about grown-up problems. It has nothing to do with you. I didn't tell them about the money or the cheating. They'd learn the truth eventually, but not today. Today they just needed to know they were loved and safe. We ordered pizza, a luxury we hadn't had in weeks. The first child support payment arrived 2 weeks later. Vincent's attorney had advised him not to appeal, apparently. Smart choice. With that money and my full-time salary, we stabilized. I could buy groceries without calculating every item. Maya could return to dance class. Danny could join recreational baseball, not travel team, but still baseball. Life slowly became normal again. Not the old normal, but a new one. Simpler in some ways. We didn't have Vincent's expensive hobbies eating our budget. I made decisions without consulting anyone. The kids adjusted. Children were resilient. Vincent saw them twice a month with a supervisor present. He'd completed his mandated classes. The visits were awkward but civil. He never apologized to me. Never acknowledged what he'd done. But he paid his support on time, probably because his wages were being garnished. 6 months after that text message, I realized I was happy. Actually happy. Yes, I was a single mother working full-time. Yes, money was tighter than before. But I wasn't walking on eggshells around Vincent anymore. Wasn't wondering what he was hiding. A year later, the divorce was final. I kept the house, my car, and full custody. Vincent kept his car, his new apartment, and whatever life he'd built with Amber. I heard through mutual friends that they'd broken up after she discovered he'd been cheating on her too. The irony wasn't lost on me. Diana and I laughed about it over wine. Some people never learn, she said. Danny and Maya thrived. Danny made the all-star team in his rec league. Maya performed in her dance recital. Both asked about their father less frequently. I started dating eventually, nothing serious, just remembering who I was beyond being Vincent's wife. That text message had destroyed the life I'd known. But it had also freed me from a man who'd been lying for months, maybe years. I'd built something better from the ruins. The kids were happy. I was happy. Our little family of 3 was stronger than the family of 4 had ever been. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be the thing you needed most. Vincent had taken our money. But he'd given us something more valuable. He'd given us ourselves back. And that was priceless.